Okay, now let's see what we need to do inside our client components. We'll start off in the member service, and just below the set main photo, let's create a new method inside here to delete a photo. And for this one, we'll take the photo ID, which is going to be a number, and we'll say return list.http, and we'll use the delete method this time. And we'll say list.baseurl plus, and we're going to go to users /delete-photo, and then /, and we just need to concatenate the photo ID onto this. And then we can head across to our photo edit component, and inside here let's just add the delete photo method above the set main photo. So this is going to take the photo ID as a number, and we'll say list.memberService, and we're going to delete a photo and pass in the photo ID and subscribe. And in the next, once again, we don't get anything back from our API for this, so we'll just use the underscore again. And once again, we need to update the member we're working with here, which has the collection of photos. So I'm going to say const updated member equals, and I'll just get a copy of this member, the input signal, and I'll say updated member.photos equals, and we'll say updated member.photos.filter, and we'll say x goes to x.id, that's not equal to the photo ID, which will remove that photo we're deleting from the array. And then we can use our list.member change and emit the updated member. And then we can head over to our template, and we'll open up the photo editor component template. And inside here, where we have our button with the danger class, let's just move things down once again. And we're not going to let them delete their main photo, we'll make them swap that. So we'll make this disabled if the photo is main. And we'll give it a click event, and we'll say delete photo, photo.id. And that should be all we need to do. So let's head over to our browser, and we'll go to our clients, and I'll just refresh the page, make sure everything is still fine. I'll click the edit photos. We can see that this button is disabled. This is currently the main image. And let's delete this one, and we see the loading, and the photo that we've deleted has now disappeared. Marvelous. Although we do run into the same issue we saw with setting the main photo as well, because even though that image has been deleted, if I go out to the matches and then go and edit the profile again, and we're still not refreshed our page, that image still will be in this list. And then if we were to try and delete it, or if the user went away, came back and tried to delete another photo, then they're going to experience an error because this photo no longer exists in our database, therefore it cannot be deleted. So we need to do the same kind of thing that we did with our setting of the main photo, and do a bit more work inside the delete photo to also remove it from the members array signal, just as we did before. But we're going to need to work with, let's use the photo just so that we can use the same approach we did here rather than just the photo ID. So I'll specify photo of type photo there, and we'll use the tap once again inside here so that we can use a side effect. And we'll say this.members.update, and we'll say members goes to members.map, and once again use m as the accessor, and we'll check to see if m.photos.includes the photo, and if it does, then we're going to say m.photos equals m.photos.filter, and we'll say x goes to x.id, that's equal to the photo.id, and then below the if statement we can return the member, and that's what we should have here. And we'll swap photo ID there for photo.id, and almost this should be not equal. We want to return the photos that are not equal to this ID not the ones that are equal to this ID. So that should be not equal. And then inside the photo editor component, we could just pass in the photo rather than just the photo ID, and we'll need to do the same for this as well. So we'll sort photo for type of photo, and again we'll need to swap this for photo.id. And in the previous version of this course I used a different approach and didn't use signals because at the time I initially wrote the code they weren't available. But on this instance, because we're retrieving the member from a signal, we do need to take a few extra steps here. And we'll go back to the photo editor component, and instead of photo.id, we'll just say photo. But what we should have now is the functionality complete. So let's go back and let's go back to the matches, and let's just refresh the page, make sure we're getting the member from the signal in the first place. And I'll go and edit the profile. I'll edit the photos. I'll delete a photo, and what we want to make sure is that when we go back to our matches and we come back to edit the profile, then our photo array remains updated, and that is indeed the case. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this particular section, all about the images, and we're now ready to commit our changes into source control. So let's close all of this stuff down and save our changes into source control, and I'll stage these changes and give it a commit message of end of section 11 and commit these and sync them up with GitHub. And we'll wrap this up with a summary.